Hey guys, welcome back. All right, today we are going to be talking about the SAG-AFTRA strikes. Well, technically the tentative deal that they've come up with, the interim agreement that they're working on. Now, there's some wording in this agreement that has to do with AI that myself and quite a few of my friends are not real thrilled with. It doesn't cover us very well, which is kind of the point of the whole strikes in the beginning was more pay because of inflation and so forth. We got to be able to keep up with what's going on and better protection from AI being used in the industry. Now, that said, I want to start by saying I voted no on the current agreement because I want them to change some of this wording and get things straightened out a little bit. But, so come back to that. If you're getting mad at me for something I'm saying, remember I said no to this on the thing. So I think some of this is going to sound like I'm positive toward AI, and I'm not. But you have to address this head on because it's happening right now. I think many of my friends and a lot of people at SAG-AFTRA are very confused about the capabilities of AI and what it needs from us to do what it does. And it's made very obvious by some of my friends' posts and the way they phrase things, like, "Oh, they're gonna use AI scans of us and do this and that." It's not gonna work like that at all. AI does not need our scan, not even a little bit. They can take a photo, just a picture, a still image of us, and animate it, turn it into a person. It makes a very, very, very good estimation of what the rest of you looks like based on that photo. And if you have a bit of video where it can see the rest of you, it can put that together. It does not need a scan of you. Those scans are for VFX. The scans have gone to, every VFX house in the country is getting these scans and using them to animate us in the background if they need us, or do a replacement or continuity, like, oh, that actor was here, but now we turn the camera and you should see him, but he's not in the shot. Let's put him in there. They do that all the time. They've been doing that for over 20 years. And I've been getting scanned since probably 2017 on many productions. I've been scanned a ton of times, and it's for the VFX department. AI doesn't need those scans. Just having a scan, it's great when to have on hand, but to actually animate it, there's a lot you have to do to those files to get them prepped up to be an animated person or use it as a background component or anything. It's a lot of work. AI doesn't need to do that. Just doesn't. And with these contracts, they want to, cover when studios use our likeness into the future, which I think we need more coverage. I don't like the idea of them scanning you once. And it's not, again, they don't need the scan, but like taking your image and using it on other performers digitally in the future, if they do that, we should be compensated. I feel like that's fair. The problem is they're not going to do that unless you are the lead actor or have a very principal featured role. They're not going to bother. If they need more people, they're just going to make new people, because with AI, you can just crank out people that don't exist. Just a bunch of them. Hey, I need a crowd. Okay, here's 50 people that you've never seen in your life that don't exist anywhere. They're all new people. And they're all going to walk around and do realistic stuff in the background, and you'll never know. But it won't be any real people, because why would they use our likeness? It's not even worth the effort. It's harder to take a scan and convert it to be a digital model that's usable than to just tell one of these AI programs to make a new person. Just ask for a person that looks like this. I need like a tan girl with brown hair, but I want her to have like hazel eyes and 5'7". Okay, done. There she is. 2 seconds. Now make her go walk around like this. I think the things this is going to affect the most are people that do a lot of background acting work, stunt performers, because why risk people's lives and the liability if you can just have an AI performer do it? And I think that people currently don't understand how quickly the AI is moving in a direction where a director will just be able to ask an AI performer to do what they want. Say, there is this fall off of a truck in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Do you see that guy falls off the truck and he lands like this? I want to kind of do that sort of stunt, but here you'll just have to mention it. And the AI performer, without typing anything, will be able to address the director, say, okay, go perform the fall digitally in the computer, and the director can critique it. He'll be able to critique it and say, I like that, but maybe don't flail your arms so much and have a more serious look on your face. And it'll just give you another take. They won't have to prompt anything or do anything. You could just talk to it. It's going to be there. It's getting there right now. Literally right now. It's getting close to that point. By a year from now, that's not going to be a problem. So, stunt performers, it's almost not worth risking someone unless you really, really need to. Superformers, which is what I typically do, like in robots or monsters or whatever. I mean, they can make robots, monsters, whatever crazy thing you want, and the quality is just in months. 6 months ago, these programs couldn't get the right amount of fingers on a person, and now it's making, and that was in June, July, and now in December, some of these photos, these pieces that are being created by the AI are so close to photorealistic that it is very, very, very difficult to tell. There's somewhere I literally couldn't tell, except that in the prompts, there I go, in the description it says that it was an AI image. I mean, some of them are there, and now the video versions of that are getting better. I'm talking in 3 months. The improvement in just the last 3 months has been absolutely wild. And again, they don't need our scans, so everybody's freaking out about the scans. It doesn't need our scans. Just it can use a photo or it can grab a frame from the film, and you see that actor that was right there. The director will be able to say it. Hey, that actor that was right there in the background, he should be in this shot too. Can you make that happen? And the AI will say, sure, boop, and there it is, just like that, perfectly integrated into the scene. They don't have to worry about VFX rotoscoping out the people in front of him or behind him or blending it or getting the colors right or the lighting. It will do all of that. It does it near flawlessly now. It's getting very, very good right now. So 6 months, a year from now, that's all it's going to take. And again, it's going to be easier for them just to put new people in the background. They might have a handful of people on set just so that the actor has somebody to work off of, but the rest of the people, just throw them in. And there are programs right now that can take, a group of people walking, and you can select one person in that group and replace that person with a fully CG character. It could be like a fluffy Easter bunny or a robot or whatever. It does all the work. It cuts them out. It rotoscopes around the people in the front. It matches the lighting, the shadows, everything. Just does it, and it's fast. So as much as us actors are worried about our jobs, the VFX industry is going to fall apart soon. It's barely going to be needed. It's barely going to be needed. I mean, right now, in the last 6 months, I make props as well, as a lot of you know. I've had 4, 5 directors come to me with stuff they want made where their initial work was all done in Midjourney. They come to me with, hey, with this, like something like this, and maybe they have an artist kind of like finalize some stuff or redraw some things, but all of that exploratory art that would have been done by an artist over a few weeks is now gone. A director can sit down on his computer at night and, bang out a bunch of things through Midjourney and narrow it down to what they want and go with it. And that's pretty freaky. Narrows the amount of work a lot. I'm trying to think what else is like. It's totally frightening. There's a lot of stuff outside of the film industry that's kind of terrifying to me, honestly, with this AI stuff. I wish they would just stop. It really bothers me. I think a big misconception is that they're like, oh, it's just taking all these images and it's stealing all these things. And it kind of is. But it's actually learning quite a lot like a person learns. So, if you hire a professional dancer, they went to classes and they learned from people and they watched people do things and they learned how to do it. Or if you hire an artist, they went to museums and they looked at famous artwork and they looked through books and they saw other artists and they learned techniques from people, and then they do their own art, and all of those influences are going to be in their artwork. And the AI is very, very, very similar to that. It is not photoshopping together a bunch of pieces or hodging together. It is recreating what it thinks it should look like based on images, but it's not using those images necessarily. It's not like taking chunks of those and using them. It's like kind of like it's remembering what all these elements that it's seen and making a new thing. Now it might look a lot like something, but it's not that thing. There's no aspect of what you're seeing that actually came directly from that thing. You might have elements that are extremely similar, especially 6 months ago. Midjourney, a good example. There'll be things where if you type in a hyper specific set of prompts, you will get something that looks very, very, very much like somebody else's work, but it's because you kind of asked for that. But if you are vague about it, it starts to get its own thing. The whole thing is just terrifying, and it's moving so quickly, and I highly, highly recommend getting up to speed on it. And if you're from SAG-AFTRA or you're worried about this, you should go find videos find AI news, watch what is happening right now. It is way, way, way more terrifying than what you're scared of. Like all the stuff that's freaking you out about this and this agreement sounds awful. It's way worse than that. It's just worse than that, and I hate it. So anyway, I guess I'll leave it on that high note. Thanks for stopping by. I voted no, but I feel like that, like I said, I feel like a film developer who was around when digital cameras started coming out, and it's people in the future, there may be films where they want to use real people. It might be like a selling point, but it's going to become like people do hand animation and so forth, like in those places. Like there's these tiny studios that still do it kind of old school, but not a lot. There's not a lot of that kind of work around anymore. So I have a feeling that's where it's going to go. My wife was saying they need to make like a certificate system where you can say it's the percentage of AI used. It's kind of like getting non-GMO foods or something where, this film uses real people. It doesn't use AI, or 70% is made with real people and whatever, like some kind of certificate system to show it. And then it comes down to the actual customer wanting to see real people versus AI. But that's what it's going to come down to. Otherwise, there's no real incentive for the studios to keep using us. There really isn't. It's cheaper, less residuals to pay, less liability for actors and stunt people, and they don't have to build so many sets, and everything's cheaper, and they can just crank it out. I'm hoping that if that goes that way, it just also puts it back in the hands of like individuals, so creative people can just make stuff on their own that could rival any big studio, which I guess that's cool. But I'm going to miss working in the industry, guys, because it looks like it's going to be gone soon. So sad. Let's hope it doesn't go that way. But all right, again, on that high note, like I said before, have a good night. Bye.